but I'll say a name.
Mm.
And it was Usher. Working with him, um, and this is why, like everything, far as your, this is a teacher moment for other designers out there too. This is why your designs got to be on point, your measurements got to be on point, everything.
What's cracking, everybody? It's me, Kyle, for season three, for all we know. And I had to take it for, let's say, I would probably say maybe a couple months. I've been sticking to moving out here, but I figured out the way that I really, really want to address this season. And it's the series. I keep saying that, I know, frame series, but this is what you guys are gonna experience. So I'm getting people that are super, super crafty at their niche. And this one is completely it's so crazy to even think that you can you could go certain places and do certain things, but you hone in on one thing, one particular thing, and you're just so good at it. And this one is about fashion. Now, back in the day, I used to spend checks on jeans, checks on shoes. I got a kid now, I can't do that as much, but fashion was a big part of my life. Not to say I don't like to still look good or once in a while, but it's not my main thing. But I know how important it is. I know how important it is to the culture. I know how important it is to a lot of a lot of people's lives. And I had to get somebody that not only is it important to, but they actually craft it themselves. So I got the homie Darryl Bordenave, and he is the CEO founder of Ruckage. And it's there's so much things that he's done, and we're going to get into a little more. But I'm so glad he's joining us because I love these stories of people just doing great stuff, and they're so busy sticking and moving out here, like I always say, that they don't have enough time to talk about what they're doing. So we have to stop them, stop running, because you're on the treadmill out here. So we have to stop him real quick, and he's joining us for the journey. So what's up, Daryl? How you doing, man?
What's going on, bro, man? Long time, long time.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, I was just telling people. Obviously, you got a lot of things that you're doing in fashion. You have Ruckage, which is you've been doing this for a minute. Like, wow. Like, give us the give us kind of the origin of how it started, because I'm sure like you started from when you were younger, but give us kind of like how the step by step to how we got to Ruckage.
Man, so fortunately, I was one of those kids that kind of knew what they wanted to do since they was a young kid. I always knew I wanted to do fashion. My grandmother, she was very creative. She used to sew and things like that, and I would go spend summers at her house in Kansas City. And one day, you remember those big old compact computers back in the day?
Hmm.
Those big funky '90s computers. Some like had like lights on them that glowed in the dark and stuff like that. But she had one for her grandkids in the back room. So, do you remember that application called Paint? They used to be on every computer.
Oh, of
They
course.
used to have like solitaire. They used to have
Yeah.
Paint. Have like what I'm saying, just like the basic things on a computer that you could do for free.
Yeah.
So Paint, I used to go in there and I used to draw like clothes, right, with the mouse. But everything was like very linear. Linear. You
Mhm.
had to use like circles and triangles. Like you really had to be like kind of like I guess advanced to like maneuver it. But anyway, man, I used to be in there all day after I come from outside riding my bike or what I'm saying, playing with the neighborhood kids, and I'll just be in there drawing clothes on the application called Paint. And one day, man, I was like, man, I need a name for my clothing line. Back then they had NYC, they had Fat Farm, Rockaware, Sean John, Fetish, Dada. You know what I'm saying? Just all like the streetwear brands. And I was like, God, I need a name for my clothing line. And I just stopped what I was doing and I just said a prayer. And as soon as I opened my mouth, I said Ruckage. And I was like, man,
Mm.
Ruckage. I like that. And I just kept repeating it. And I started writing it different ways to how to spell it and stuff like that. And I finally came up with the way I spell it now. And I stuck with it. And I was like, dang, Ruckage, 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 that sounds good. So when I was like 11 years old, man, I just kept the name since 11.
Wow. Okay, okay. So Ruckage is known for like merging classic menswear with edgy, futuristic elements. How do you like define the Ruckage aesthetic, I guess so to speak? Like what inspired that kind of like unique blend?
So the Ruckage aesthetic is basically um, my tagline is classy, edgy, classic, right?
Mm.
So if Ralph Lauren and Yoji Yamamoto had like a love child, it would be me. You know what I'm saying? Like for the people who don't know who Yoji Yamamoto is, he's a Japanese designer, been designing for a long time, but he's big on like tailoring. He's big on like the cut of the garment, and he's big on kind of like I guess like the futurism of fashion. And you know, Ralph Lauren is big on just classic American wear. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Whether that's formal wear, whether that's jeans or whatever. So if you mix both of them together, that's kind of where I come in. Both of those two are my top two favorite designers. So mine is more like edgy. Like if you're going somewhere and you want to be seen,
Mm.
you wear Ruckage, right? People will see you before they even hear you. You see what I'm saying? Like I focus on structure, like bold lines and things of that nature.
Okay, okay. So I know the brand's mission is to like cultivate confidence, like you said, through fashion. How do you kind of like ensure each collection empowers like, you know, that so to speak?
One, because when you look good, you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Especially as a man. You know, when a man money is right, you know what I'm saying, he feel good. When a man family is good, you know what I'm saying, he feel good. He could be the last one, you know what I'm saying, to get served, or the last one to get any gifts or anything. But as long as his family good, he's good. And last but not least, when a man, like I said, when he looks good and he got that stuff on, like he just feels so good about himself. So I kind of evoke that in every collection, but every collection has like a different meaning. Like the collection that I, released not so long ago, which is the Tuskegee Airmen collection. I wanted to empower men. You know what I'm saying? Like, far as like the to have like that military, not discipline, but the military aesthetic
Hmm.
when it comes to fashion. If you notice, military men, they're very neat, they're very structured. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's kind of what I want to put in this collection featuring the Tuskegee Airmen.
Okay. Yeah, we're definitely gonna jump in that Tuskegee Airmen. With the Raceway to Runway collection, it stands out for all the bold designs. What was the inspiration behind that, and how does it like kind of affect your philosophy?
So the Raceway to the Runway collection um, was a concept that came up with because I'm a car fanatic, right?
Okay.
I love motorcycles. I love cars. Those are two of my biggest inspirations, especially cars. So I wanted to create a collection where how would this guy look coming out of a Ferrari? How would he look coming out of a Lamborghini? How would he look coming out of a Porsche 911? You know what I'm saying? So he's really coming from the raceway, you know what I'm saying, racing cars, so he can hop out the car and go right to the runways of Paris and Milan. You see what I'm saying? So when you see a guy pulling out of, let's see, a Ferrari, what would he look like to you? How should he dress? Like you
Okay.
see a black on black Ferrari, smoked out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
LED lights pulling up to the hottest restaurant, the hottest club.
Mm-hmm.
All the windows are tinted black. You only can imagine what that person looks like in the car. What does he look
Yeah.
like when you step out that car? Does he have on like a plain baseball cap and a t-shirt and some jeans, or does he have on like a cool race car jacket? You know what I'm saying, with some nice combat boots, or like how does that guy look?
Mm-hmm.
And the Raceway to the Runway collection is my interpretation of how that guy should look driving these sports cars.
Yeah, and you have to that's a really good approach too, because you have to like put yourself in that position. You got to put yourself in like, okay, if I was, flying down like PCH or Milan, like you said, like, and you just driving like, okay, how fly do I want to be? You know,
Hmm.
I want to be. So I like that approach. A couple of other notable things, and I remember you posting this. I'm like, dang, they're out here moving. You had a couple of partner or collabs with some notable like artists, like Genuine, Omarion. How did those kind of come about?
Man, their stylists just reach out, honestly.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, stylists always looking for the next hottest design, or if they working with whoever, you know what I'm saying? They try to get a designer who match their aesthetic. So they honestly just reach out, man. I've been blessed to where all of my business, as far as working with like celebrities or film and television, or whatever the case may be, magazines, it's word of mouth. It's word of mouth. They hear about me somehow, or they see the website, or they see like the Instagram, and they'll reach out. I mean, that's really how it happens.
Oh, that's a blessing. Did you meet them, or you just kind of like through the stylist type thing?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like when I work with a celebrity, I like to. I mean, if we can't meet, I don't even know if there's been an instance where I think it was Usher that I didn't meet. Um,
Oh, I didn't know you did. Hold
on
up,
set,
hold up.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know you did one for Usher. Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, man. I didn't get a chance to meet him because the stylist was in L.A. and Usher was in L.A. And that's where they did like the photo shoot and everything like that.
Hmm.
But if they're here in Atlanta or if I'm in the city where they are, I definitely meet them, go fit them, go style them, snap a picture up with them or whatever, and just build that relationship, man.
Yeah. So when that happens, do you create a custom piece for them? Like, do you take their personal style into account? I'm sure, like, if building something for Usher, you're like, okay, you getting a custom piece, or do you give them something that you already have envisioned that you already have, like, kind of in the inventory? How do you do that? Like, balance the personal style and the artist identity, I guess.
Right. So 9 times out of 10, they'll see something on my website and they'll be like, I want this artist wearing that.
Mm.
And then I bring them a jacket, shipping them a jacket, or whatever the case may be. Other times, when they want me to do something custom, I take that artist's personality and mix it with my style and design directly for that artist, right?
Mhm.
So I take, like I said, their personality and mix it with my brand DNA and create a look just for them. Because every artist is not going to wear, I guess, one of my jackets, right? They'll like the jacket, but they'll be like, okay, this don't fit my personality. But as a designer, I know how to design for your personality. Like if you wanted me to design you something, so I can, what is it called? I can, I can't even think of the word. What's the term? I can assess. There
Mhm.
we go. Your style and make something just for you.
Yeah, I like that. I like that approach, man. So, have there been any like memorable moments, or maybe even some challenges working with some celebrities? You ain't got to name names, but
Yeah, man. I mean, I can name a name. I ain't tripping. This ain't not. You ever seen the R&B Money podcast?
yeah, yeah, of course. With
They
Tank
got a
and
yeah. Don't name no names.
okay,
Seen that segment?
hmm?
You ever seen that segment? Don't say no names.
Not okay. Yeah, I have. I actually like. I like
Yeah,
that.
but I'll say a name.
Mm.
And it was Usher. Working with him. And this is why, like everything, far as your, this is a teacher moment for other designers out there too. This is why your designs got to be on point, your measurements got to be on point, everything. Got the phone call from Usher's stylist. They wanted me to send a few jackets to LA. Sent through about 5 jackets to LA. Usher couldn't even fit the jacket, bro. The sleeves was too long. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
I actually met Usher after that at Cascade, and I didn't realize how tall this guy was. He ain't like the tallest, but he has long arms.
okay, okay. I could.
So
All right.
right, so if you wear a suit, right, I would probably like you probably would be like a 30, 32 short,
Mm.
right? So short meaning the arm and the length.
Right, right.
Usher would be probably a 38 long.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because he has long arms. And I was designing in a 38 regular with a regular size sleeves. So I was like, you know what? Let me start making my samples in 38 longs. So a person with shorter arms could fit it,
Mm.
and a person with longer arms would be able to fit it. So that was a teachable moment for me, and it was a learning experience as well.
So in that like instance, what happens? Like he just can't he just
I mean,
can't wear them,
yeah,
or
yeah, it's nothing you can do. I mean, you could try to finesse the jacket for the photo shoot. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? But everybody don't wear their
Because I was
sleeves.
about to say, do you like rush? Because I mean, especially if it's like a high profile client like Usher, do you rush like a jacket to LA immediately, or
Yeah, I mean, it was no time. You know what I'm saying? And
man,
when you get a call, it's like it's happening then
yeah,
and there. There's no, well, we need this jacket next week or we need this jacket in a month. Rarely do people book you that in
yep.
advance. You know what I'm saying? But this was like they call me Thursday. I had the jacket to him by Friday
Mm.
type situation. You know what I'm saying? But if I would have known his arms were so long, you know what I'm saying, then it would have been like money. You know what I'm saying? But what can I do?
Hey, that is a teachable moment. That's a hard lesson.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, but
A
it
hard
came. The
lesson.
moment actually came back around, man, because I actually ran into him at the skating ring for JD's party one year, and we chopped it up, and I was able to get his manager's personal number and kind of cultivate a relationship like that. So
Okay, it'll come back around. Look,
yeah,
those types of situations, as long as everybody handles it professionally and everybody human, whatever, that's good on my end. So your recent like denim collection pays homage, like you were saying, to Tuskegee Airmen, and was featured recently at the Bloomingdale in Lenox Mall. What exactly inspired the tribute, or what message do you want it to like convey to people?
so for this collection, this is a two-part collection, right?
Okay.
So for this collection, you know how I tell you I have like different inspirations. Like I had the cars for the Race Right to the Runway collection, and for this collection, my inspiration was like planes, right?
Okay.
So the inside of the cockpit of a plane, like fighter jets, right? How
Um,
they look outside, how sleek they are, different type of jets, you know. And as I was doing more research, I remembered the Tuskegee Airmen. You know, they were the first black fighter pilots in the military, and I started doing more research on them. And I started looking at their uniforms and what they would wear flying the planes. And I had this like, bro, black people, we can drive a taxi cab and put their uniform on or whatever, and we just make it look different.
look,
You know what I'm saying?
look good,
Like
man.
if you see these guys and how they was dressed in regular uniforms that other military personnel was wearing too, they just look different. You know what I'm saying? They just made flying the plane look cool. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like merged those two inspirations and wanted to honor them with the collection. So that's kind of how I came up with that.
Okay. So, and we didn't really get into this, but like you're a self-taught designer, and then you went to Savannah College of Art and Design. How exactly has like the educational experiences shaped your approach to fashion and business? Honestly.
So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So as a self-taught designer, I went to school already knowing how to sew, already knowing how to design. I was already working in the industry, working with celebrities and doing fashion shows when I was 18 years old. When I met you at Georgia State, man, I was already doing it. But I went to school to further my knowledge in fashion of the things I didn't
Mhm.
know. Because being self taught is one thing, but getting a formal education behind your craft is another thing. So I just had the both of best worlds, if you ask me. Um, and what was the question again?
So like how like those experiences that you had like with the fashion side and the business side of things, like how did you kind of like how did that help you, and how did that you know taking that education that you had help you with your business part?
It helped me because school. All right, so fashion design school doesn't teach you how to be an entrepreneur, all right? You just got to have that in you. Design school teach you how to work for another designer or a corporate brand, right? It teaches you to go be a worker, right? So it teaches you all the fundamentals that you would need to produce clothing. I was already doing that, but I didn't know the I guess the right terminology behind what I was doing. I was just doing it because that's just what I knew how to do. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of gave me a corporate approach to design or a more professional approach to design, right? And I just applied that to my business and to my business model. But it didn't teach me how like to be an entrepreneur because people who go to design school, they're not going to be an entrepreneur. They're going to work for Ralph Lauren. They're going to work for um, all these other major brands. You know, I just took an alternate route, but it did help me because I learned a lot that I didn't know.
So, and this is just a random question here. With making like a jacket, like how you did for Usher and the celebrities, just or just in your regular inventory, how long does that take?
If okay, so remember that all the way turned up music video in Roscoe Dash?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I was working with him during that era, man. I was like his first designer.
Hmm.
Um, it took me. I got the phone call that he's doing a video the next day. I did that jacket pattern sewing in 16 hours.
Wow.
So I mean, I don't recommend that for nobody because I didn't even sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But like how you was asking me with Usher, like, do you get like a, you know, do they get like a rush order or something like that? It can happen, but I probably wouldn't do that again because it's like it takes a lot out of you mentally.
Yeah.
Um, but on a typical, when I got time, I could knock a jacket out probably like in a week. You know what I'm saying? 2, 3 days. And people got to remember what I do as far as design. It takes 20 people to do at a factory.
Mm.
So when you wear a jacket that you got on your body or those jeans that you probably have on right now, right? Between 10 and 20 people didn't touch those jeans before it got to Macy's or Nordstrom's, right? So it's one person that's doing the stitching, one person that's doing the pockets, one person that's doing the rivets, one person that put the, you know what I'm saying, the zipper in, like it's an assembly line.
Everything is just like it's every
Yeah,
little piece, like a assembly line.
yeah, it's an assembly line.
Hmm.
And I do those 10 to 20 people that handle that one garment, I do that job all by myself from the pattern. And that's not even to mention the pattern that you got to make before it gets to the cutting process. And that's not even mentioning the fabric process that you got to do to pick out the fabric. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really doing a lot of people's job with just me as, you know, one person.
See, I want to stop there because people really need to realize when you're paying X amount of dollars for stuff, this is what you're paying for. You're paying for quality and
Yes.
time spent. What he just said, you're paying him all the money that you pay all those 20 workers that you mentioned, you paying this one person, and it's all him. It's a one stop shop. So that's important to that's important for people to realize when they complain about prices and stuff like that. You gotta, you're a pro at this point, so
Right.
you gotta treat it like, it's a huge company because you would do it for a huge company. You know,
Right.
I really want people to focus on that kind of stuff.
Facts, facts. And designing is a lost art,
Mm.
right? When people say they're designers, um, they should just say I have a fashion brand because a designer is somebody who's going to make the patterns, who's going to pick out the fabric swatches, who's going to do the sketches, and who's going to sew it together. You know what I'm saying? That's a totally different ball game.
Mm.
It's not that many designers here or around now who know how to do all those things. You know what I'm saying? Most people they'll probably just sketch their designs and give it to a team and let them, do everything else. But there's not too many people who know how to do every step of the design process at all. So when you buy a Ruckage jacket from me at this point, just know that the quality control is there. You know what I'm saying? Like every step I'm handling. You know what I'm saying? The from the buttons, from the zippers, from the lining, from the interfacing, from everything I do. So that's why you about my jacket at a premium price because you're going to get that quality, and I'm actually putting the work in, to make that jacket for you.
Exactly, man. And with that being said, it's got you, notable mentions from people like Sprite and BT. How exactly did shout outs from them and acknowledgments from them and visibility like help your visibility and growth?
Yeah, man. So Giovanni, you know Giovanni, right?
I've heard of them.
Yeah, he went to Georgia State too.
Nah, I'm playing. It's my brother, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like y'all cool. So yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. He alright. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
that's my boy, man. Back in the day, well, we went to high. Me and him went to high school together too,
Hmm.
and that's important. That's the importance of building relationships. Or when somebody see your work and they see your growth, they want to give you opportunity. They want to put you on or whatever. So he seen what I was doing, man, and he was doing some campaigns with Sprite. Yeah, and I was living in New Orleans at the time. He had me come out to Atlanta and do the whole Sprite Port campaign, man, and that was big. And from that, Coca-Cola seen it, and I guess they're one company,
Yeah.
but the Coca-Cola side of the brand seen it, and they put my story on their Coca-Cola Journeys website, and from that point, but Sprite mentioned me on Twitter back in the day too, and said like I'll be like the next feature menswear icon. That was pretty big. Then I wound up doing BET's Lens on Talent, and they recognized me as one of the top 10 fashion designers. And I mean, it was just like a ripple effect, honestly.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it happens all the time. So you were also featured in an international textbook. I did
Yeah,
that. I didn't know. I saw that. I was like, oh,
man, man. So um, this author reached out to me, and I don't know. I forgot honestly how she said she got my information, but I don't know if somebody told her my story or she read my story online somewhere. And this was like early on, like probably like in 2009. Um, and basically, she, she wanted my story to go in her textbook for entrepreneurs. You
okay,
know what I'm saying? You know how you have like business class in high school. So what she does is she wrote textbooks, and this textbook was in schools all across the United States.
wow.
And like when you flip through the pages, I'm gonna give you a scenario, and then once they give you the scenario, then my story will pop up, and the kids have to read my story and about my brand, and
Mhm.
then do like an assessment test afterwards.
Oh,
So I think that's pretty cool, man.
that's tight. I like that.
Mhm.
Man, you get a lot of looks. You've been getting
Man,
that's a blessing, man.
it is a blessing, man. Long time coming, bro.
Yeah,
Long time.
that's a hard work.
Nah, yeah, yeah, and you got to celebrate the small successes. You know what I'm saying? Like though every like the BT, the Sprite, the book. You know what I'm saying? Working with different celebrities,
Mhm.
those all came at like different junctures in my life, man. But I had to learn you have to celebrate your small wins
Mhm.
because those small wins leads to the big wins.
I forgot who said it, but they said that when you're at the top is not to say it's not the best part, but it's that journey getting there. The journey is the best part because you experience all the highs and lows, and when you get that
Yeah,
high, you know you remember those lows. So when you get that high, because when you're at the top, you just stay there. Like where's the up and down, man?
right.
It pulls you in a little more, and makes you hungry. You
I
know.
definitely
Um,
hungry.
so with that being said, with the textbook and the students, you also kind of like you had a dream tour where you kind of like engage with students across a whole bunch of colleges and stuff. Tell us about that.
So the Dream Tour is an acronym. Dream is an acronym for drive, resources, eagerness, and motivation, right? Which are my key tools to success, right? You got to have drive. You got to have the resources. A lot of people don't talk about that in America. we like to say, you could be anything you want in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you work hard for it, as long as, like, that's not true.
Hmm.
Like, think of how many people who's better than LeBron James who's not in the NBA. People that we don't even know,
Hmm.
right? LeBron James is probably the best NBA player of this generation, right? That we know of, right? But if the other person who been playing ball just as long as LeBron James, if he had the resources that LeBron James had, it probably wouldn't be a LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Or he'd be up there with LeBron James. So, and that's not taking away from anything from LeBron or anybody who's reached a high level of success, but what we don't talk about is that you have to have resources. You can have all the talent in the world. If you ain't got those resources, that talent don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? Think of how many people can rap better than Kendrick. And that's my favorite rapper.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But that rapper ain't got the resources. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So you got to have the drive, you got to have the resources, you got to be eager, and you got to have ambition. So that's my foundation of a dream tour. And I just wanted to go around like different high schools and colleges and speak about that, man, because I don't feel like our generation or the generation behind us, I don't feel like they really know what it takes to make a dream come true. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, you can have all the talent, but you need more than talent to make it. So I'm happy that, schools like Clark Atlanta, UAB, I did a lot of different schools and high schools and colleges. I'm just happy that they allowed me to come in
Hmm.
and speak to their students, man, about those things.
Yeah, that I think people think all the time that it's a cliche, but your net worth is really like your network is really your net worth.
Facts.
Because if you don't know by now, it's not, it is a little bit what you know. But how many times do you walk in the boardroom and you know more than the CEO?
Right.
Like it's not a coincidence. They know
Mm-hmm.
somebody, I'm sure. I mean, not everybody, there's a lot of things that are merit based, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things ain't. A
Facts.
lot of things,
Facts. And you have to be chosen. A
yeah.
lot of people like to speak about that either. Like, for the Sprite, what I'm saying, opportunity, I was chosen for that. You know what I'm saying? They could have used any other designer that they had access to, but they liked me and I was chosen for that. So like when an actor goes up for all these movie roles and stuff like that, they're chosen to be in that film.
Hmm.
How many other actors are better than that lead actor who could have got that role? You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So like you said, your network is your net worth.
Hmm.
They knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody, who chose them to get that role, or who chose them, for that interview, or who chose them to be on this sports team. LeBron was chosen. Michael was chosen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
No, that's true, man. That's why I know people, don't want people to like run all over them and stuff like that. But watch how you treat people, man, because you
right,
never know when you're gonna see those people again.
right. What if I had beef with Giovanni in high school, or what I'm saying, like
Huh?
like that opportunity wouldn't have happened. You know what I'm saying? What if the stylist who called me for Usher, what I'm saying, heard some crazy stuff about me in the industry, and I could have lost on that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be likable to be chosen. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? You got to be the right person at the right time, and not just be in the right place at the right time, but be the right person at the right time. You
Hmm.
know?
And you have to be prepared.
Yes,
You
bro.
have to prepare.
So I don't think they're gonna see this. I don't know if they're gonna see this, but at the end of the day, it don't matter.
Hmm.
Uh, it's actually Derek calling me right now, man. My cousin, the actor on
Oh,
ABC.
okay, cool.
Shout out to ABC, the rookie. I'm
Yeah.
his creative director. I'm gonna call him back after the interview. But anyway, talking about being prepared, right? So I got a phone call 2 days ago. So somebody was looking for a fashion stylist for a woman who's going to be on a national talk show, a national talk show in New York. I can't say the name or whatever, but it's this talk show is big,
Okay.
and I'm a designer and it's a woman. So they would have asked me for clothes if it was a man, but they asked me, can I recommend a stylist, right? At last minute. I got this new up and coming stylist that that's trying to get on. And I was like, man, let me give this guy an opportunity. Gave them, you know what I'm saying, the information. He wasn't ready. And this would have been a big styling opportunity for this new stylist. Now, this is a nationally syndicated talk show.
Easy.
Everybody watches this television show.
Okay.
Everybody.
So
And
let
this
me
ain't
ask
like
you this.
huh?
Let me ask you this. When you say
Mm-hmm.
they weren't ready, what were they not exactly prepared to do at the moment?
So they needed the person who called me needed a stylist to style this celebrity on this particular show, right? And the stylist that I recommended didn't have the access to get what the celebrity needed for the show,
Okay.
right? So being prepared, if you want to be a stylist, you got to already have these relationships built out. You know what I'm saying, with these stores, or you got to be able to go to these stores and say, hey, you know what I'm saying, I'm doing this for X, Y, and Z celebrity. You know what I'm saying, I need to pull this design, that design, these glasses, these shoes, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be a stylist, you know what I'm saying, or at least have a business credit card where you can go purchase this stuff. You know what I'm saying, and get what you need. The person just wasn't prepared. You know what I'm saying? They just wasn't
Ready.
prepared.
Gotta stay
Just
ready.
got to be. That was gonna be, you know what I'm saying, that person's first major, you know what I'm saying, like styling gig, man, on a major. I'm talking about a major talk show. You know what I'm saying, with a dope celebrity,
Mm.
and
We
wasn't
gotta
prepared.
talk about that offline because I want there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. So,
Uh,
let everybody know where they can find you, and if they're looking for stylists or want to purchase from you.
yeah, man, you can find me on at ruckage.com. That's Ruckage. Everything from you can see all my collections. You can read about my story. Um, Everything is Ruckage.com. Ruckage. Or you can follow me on Instagram at Mr. Ruckage, or my business page at Ruckage.
For sure. So I always do this with every guest. It's a little bit of a curveball. If Ruckage didn't exist in the world, what would the world be missing?
If Ruckage didn't exist in this world, the world would be missing a lot of creative fashion. We're at a time right now where any and everybody wants to be a fashion designer without being a fashion designer, right? And I cultivate confidence through my designs. My designs are bold, they're unique, all the way down from the button to the fabric. You know, so the world will really be missing genuine creativity when it comes to fashion. That's what I hope to bring back to the fashion world and to the fashion community. We're look like fashion designers right now, they're looking to, you know, the past for inspiration, which is cool, but we're in 2025. Why aren't we dressing like we're in 2025, right? As artists, right? We're supposed to reflect the times. That's one of Nina Simone's one of her favorite quotes, you know what I'm saying? Or one of my favorite quotes from her. We're supposed to reflect the times, right? If you look at the 80s, immediately you can tell me how the 80s dressed. If I say, tell me how the 50s dress, you can tell me. If I tell you, tell me how the 90s dress, you can tell me. If I say the early 2000s, you can tell me. But now if I say anything after 2010, it probably gets a little blurry because we don't have a look no more. You know what I'm saying? This is
Mm-hmm.
2025. You know what I'm saying? Like put that in your mind, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You was born on 88, 89?
88. Yep.
Yeah, okay, I was born in 89. We in 2025. They thought we were supposed to be flying around in cars, bro. Like if you look at Back to the Future,
Mm-hmm.
Back to the Future, I think that was supposed to be like in 2017, 18,
Oh,
19, something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you see how Marty McFly was dressing. You see what I'm saying? So if once we get older, and we be like, man, I was dressing like this in 2025, it's gonna be the same as 2010.
You know,
We've been dressing the same for like almost 20 years, man.
I've never thought about that, but
A lot of people
pretty
haven't. We
accurate.
can't say, like I said, you can see in your mind the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Years from now, what you gonna say about the 20s? This is the new 20s, like the Roaring 20s and the
Yeah,
30s of the 1900s. We're in the new 20s.
bro. Like I said in the intro, you can't really ask me. My fashion, my I got done with fashion a long time ago. I just,
No,
but you know what
but
you gonna say?
now I won't say even if you know what I'm saying, like you can't like say something about fashion, you still have eyes
Oh
and you
yeah,
can,
absolutely.
you know what I'm saying, for this decade from 2020 to 2030, we finna be in 2030, bro. 5 more years, 2030. For this decade, how are we looking? How is the music? We don't even have a sound.
Mm.
I can
I
you
just,
can put on 80s R&B, 70s R&B, 50s jazz. You know what I'm saying? Put on Apple. You know what I'm saying? Play me 2020 music. You know, Apple probably start stuttering and be like, "What? Like what?" Because we don't have a sound
yeah,
or a look for this decade.
that's a
We
good point.
stop reflecting the times,
Yeah,
bro.
that's a good point, man. And if it is
So,
it's
mhm.
a recreation of of something else, so
Yeah, we like I said, they going back and like they wearing bell bottoms now again, bro. That's from the 70s. You
mhm.
know what I'm saying? Which is cool to I guess to get inspiration from, but it's still looking the same. You know what I'm saying? So what the world be missing if Ruckage wasn't here would be that creativity. I'm trying to push us to the future. You know what I'm saying? Like how we need to look for right now. If you go to my website, that look is now. You know what I'm saying? Some of them collections that you mentioned earlier, I designed them collections years ago,
Hmm.
but it still looks appropriate for today.
Right.
People are still pulling those jackets for photo shoots and videos from 2009. That's how ahead of the game I am and I was back then. So I'm trying to push the fashion world forward. You know what I'm saying? And we're losing creativity. That's why when you listen to the radio, everything sounds the same. That's why everybody trying to be nostalgic and listen to the '90s and 2000s hip hop and all that stuff because everything sounds. We don't have a sound.
You
We
talk
don't have
about
a look.
music. You talk about
Yeah,
music. That's an entirely different show, man. Cause
yeah,
that's
bro.
a whole nother episode. I
Yeah,
feel you. I feel you.
we're not reflecting the times, bro. Even that's why this Sinners movie. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
Go see it. Right? It's original. That's why everybody's going so crazy about it because it's original. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing like we've seen, even though it's a timepiece, it's original. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Originality feel good to people. People tired of going to the movie theaters and seeing the same old thing,
Mhm.
looking at TV and seeing the same old thing, listening to music, seeing the same old thing,
Mhm.
going to the mall, picking out fashion, dressing the same old way. People want originality. We're thirsty for it. So my job is to define this decade, bro, of fashion and the decades that come after me. You know what I'm saying? When we look back at the 2020s, I want to be one of the designers say, hey, he was rocking the
Yeah,
2020,
he was
2030s,
already there.
yeah, the 2040s. You know what I'm saying? Like we're that's what I want to do.
I feel it, man. I feel it. Well, again, I appreciate you for coming on, man.
Sir.
This is very educational. I hope everybody was listening, and you know, they already showed you everything you need to do. I hope y'all was listening. Make sure you hit him up on his page. I have all the information below, and y'all know the motto: be yourself, because everyone else is taken.
Yes, sir.